Look alive, Fringers.
It's 2099 and we are live and loud in the underground. From the streets to the scar. Keep your chip hidden, your gun loaded, and never trade your soul for souls.
Turn it up and let them know.
Big Brother is watching. Time to put on a show.
Hello, Fringers. Howdy, coffees and creamers. Welcome to episode 4 of Neon Trails and Identico Actual Play. I am your game runner, the Caleb G. Let's say hello to all of our extra hot double shot cast. First up, extra caramel, extra whip. It's Mallo playing Galen.
Except I am lactose intolerant, so we're gonna go no whip tonight.
We can do soy whip.
Soy whip? Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm gonna add that to the soy whip is getting added to the slang terms PDF.
Yes.
I'm gonna come up with something for soy whip now.
Yes. More. That's foreshadowing, kids. More to come on that later. Next up, we've got a Trenta Frapp in a venti cup. It's Wild playing B.
Yes, hello. I am here. I'm happy to see your faces, and I am very caffeinated, so let's go.
Double peppermint, double mocha, hold the milk. It's Pete playing dog.
Knock, knock. Open up the door. It's real. I'm here to give it to you. That's all I got. Welcome.
Next up, Affogato. You mean Affoget him. It's Lauren playing Drall.
Hello. I'm underhydrated, oversnacked, and ready to rock.
Get your water, kids. And
Also
lastly,
hydrate. Everyone else do it.
everyone hydrate. And lastly, just leave the pot. It's Ethan playing Mox.
Please just black coffee. It's the easiest order ever.
Yeah,
That's all I
easy.
want. That's why I'm like, I have to wait behind the people with these complicated orders. I just want you to pour some coffee from that pot into a cup. Hand it to me. That's all I'm asking.
Self-service. You just want some self-service. Just step around the counter real quick. Here's the money. It's done. So easy.
Even a pour over?
There's a joke here about
I mean, if
Mox.
they offer that, sure.
There's a joke here about Mox liking his coffee like I like my women.
I get that.
Well,
With a spoon in them.
Honey!
and
Courtesy of Eddie Izzard. Thank you very much for that joke.
I got that reference too. There, I love me some Eddie Izzard.
we're making jokes and understanding them. What a good cast we have here. Let's move on to some housekeeping. Identico is live every Tuesday on twitch.tv/Identico. We are alternating games of Chaos Incorporated and Neon Trails every week at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can see episode archives and how to play video series over on youtube.com/Identico. Be sure to subscribe, like, and leave some comments so we know you're out there. Tell us if there's anything you want to know. If you have a question like, hey, what's some slang for the world? Maybe one of the game creators can churn that out in like 30 minutes. You never know. Throw a question. Also throw some questions on our socials. We have announcements, we have news, we do things there. We're probably on Threads, we're probably on Blue Sky, we're still on Twitter. It's still Twitter. Probably at Identico, probably at Humanoid Games, whatever, you can find us. You can also visit playidentico.com where you can read the basic core rules for free, find our latest adventure, The Good Doctor, and pick up books, stickers, and other merch to support the show. If you're with us on Twitch right now, be sure to spend your channel points to give us some re-rolls because I think the crew's gonna need them tonight. Before we get to our recap about why they're in trouble, we're going to throw it to the main man, Mallo.
Well, thank you. A few additional announcements tonight. First of all, if you are on Twitch, on your laptop or PC or anything like that, or if you're watching later and you see it in the show notes, we have a new affiliate. We are collaborating with Greenleaf Geek for new dice and geeky merchandise alone. They are makers of some handmade, beautiful gaming accessories. So check them out. There's a link below. It's greenleafgaming.com/Identico. Or if you just remember Greenleaf Geek, greenleafgeek.com/Identico. I wrote notes on purpose. Or you could just use the word Identico at checkout. You get anywhere from like 10 to 15% off all their dice, all their accessories, things like that. They are gorgeous. We've got a couple of social posts and things like that going out, but they have some amazing, beautiful, it's hard-edged resin dice, the kinds that they Dispel and others put out there and stuff like that. But their designs are a beautiful chef's kiss, because they have these like cage dice that I've ordered that'll be here soon, hopefully. And they're just so pretty. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to roll 20s with these dice. So just go over there, check them out, tell them that we sent you.
I think I see our cast shopping right now.
Is our cast shopping? Yeah. There it is. Yes. Beautiful dice.
The glow-in-the-dark ones, though.
The glow-in-the-dark ones, and then I'm working with the head of Greenleaf Geek to maybe create a few for Identico and have it very cyberpunk themed. So they are amazing to work with, so friendly, so responsive, things like that. Yes, cage dice. Yes, they're right there. Yeah.
The little terrariums. They're like little terrariums.
I know, they're so cool. They're so cool. Yes, go over there, check them out. I promise you, like, I'm so excited for this partnership. And it came out because we were on Blue Sky together, and then we knew people who knew people, and so again, reaching out to us via the socials, it has all sorts of cool stuff going on there. So go check them out. Finally, we've got a panel down there for a Catacon. I get to do the Catacon announcement tonight because they're fully funded. We're gonna have a Catacon 2023 in Dayton, Ohio, coming up November 3rd through the 5th. Greg, yep, there we go. Right notes. But for the first time, not the first time, Identico is sponsoring again this year as a corporate sponsor. But for the first time, I will be at a Catacon. I'm actually being able to make it out to Dayton, Ohio this year for the event. I am so excited to see all of you out there. And you guys can probably finally put a face to all of the very fun neon and other stickers that have been out there in the past. So, as well as myself, Caleb, the Caleb G here, as well as Kaylee and Michael from our Chaos Incorporated stream will all be out there. Yes, we are going to do a lot of Identico related things out there. We will announce more of that as we get closer, but we've been talking behind the scenes about some panels. If you've ever been to a convention with me, you know that my end of convention Sunday game is going to be bonkers. I am already started thinking about that. We will have a booth. I'll bring merch. I'll bring some books. We'll sign. We'll do all sorts of good stuff out there, but I cannot wait to be out there with you guys in Ohio for the first time in forever. We've been sponsoring for so many years because Michael and everybody at the RPG Academy has been so good to us. So it feels so good to give back, but it's going to be finally good to meet all these folks in person. So I'm also going to say I'm sorry if you're going to meet me in person because it's going to be a crazy time, but we're going to have a lot of fun out there. So back to you, Caleb.
Oh, thank you. I'm so looking forward to getting together to do stuff, and then I don't know, being very tired afterwards.
We're gonna be exhausted, but it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
All right. With all of that being said and done, let's get to our recap from last week. The crew geared up in solace and headed out to the designated meeting spot for their courier mission through dangerous dust jockey territory. Things took a bad turn when their contacts, after arriving late, died. B excitedly noted that the cause of death was likely one of the mutated creatures that scavengers trade stories about over drinks. But there was no time to dwell on this, as Drall noted, the coolant in the mission's package was starting to expire, and as Mox noted, the dust jockeys on the horizon. Galen drove the Winnebago while everyone else kept watch. As the crew followed the road through massive rock formations, it became clear that they were being herded to a new destination by squadrons of dust jockey aerial drones. They decided to pull off and face their opponents, but it seemed like this is exactly what the dust jockeys wanted, because as soon as Galen stopped the Winnebago, the crew was approached by a threatening chrome monstrosity. And that's exactly where we're going to pick up tonight. Y'all are in the Winnebago, and through the windshield, you can see that chrome monolith with a rounded top hovering across the ground towards you. Suddenly, fractal lines rocket across its surface. These lightning strikes carve the perfectly smooth surface into a humanoid design. Then, with a sharp metallic snap, the monolith cracks apart and becomes a 10-foot tall rove. The signal of the rove shimmers and flickers, gliding over itself, taking shape as it walks forward. With each step, the monolith melts away and a heavy torso with thick limbs emerge. But even as it moves, the Rov's skin remains a mirrored chrome, reflecting warped vision of yourselves back at you. It stops walking and raises its right arm slowly, at first pointing directly down the barrel of the Winnebago, but then moving slightly higher. You see plates folding back, and you feel a heavy thunk as something locks into place. Then a flash. You think it's muzzle fire, but then realize there are intensely bright lights streaking up and away from the Rov's arm, arching up and up and up towards the tops of the rock formations surrounding you. In this new light, you see dozens of figures perched on the rocks, clinging to outcroppings and hanging from cable harnesses. The air echoes with shouted insults and threats that slowly resolve into a... And we roll initiative.
I have the fasty boy, quick draw.
Yeah,
I get a shot off before initiative. Do you want me to
sure.
roll initiative now, or do you want me to pow?
Let's roll initiative first, so we get that out of the way, and then we can resolve that action. Oh, I should get my own dice to roll this Rov's initiative. I don't have Greenleaf Geek dice, so hopefully it's going to be terrible.
We can fix that,
Oh, good, it is terrible. Yay!
buddy.
What do we got?
Nat 20 for 21.
Woo! Okay.
A nat 20, but a -2 to initiative, so 18.
Okay.
I got a dirty 20.
Love it.
I feel bad with my 15.
13.
That's pretty good.
This isn't like you guys
This is-
underperforming. This is the dice.
You're focusing on the road.
Yeah. All right. So we will move to Drall first. You've got your quick draw reaction here. When we last left the narrative, you were all kind of in the Winnebago looking at this. You had just come to a halt. I think we should start right in that moment of like the adrenaline hitting you, seeing this massive thing as we narrated. So what would you like your first quick draw adrenaline fueled reaction to be?
Okay, so as we're driving up to this area between rocks, we skid the Windy Bagel into the rock area, and my ears are hungry. I know it's Winnebago, but my ears are still hungry. And so we slide into it, and she climbs out the window, and she pulls a pistol off of her hip, just readying it as she slides out and turns to see this monstrosity. Did you say it was lifting its hand to fire off like a flare?
Yeah. Yeah, basically a big flare gun has fired off, illuminating the area around you. This is very much like a natural amphitheater that y'all are at, kind of the floor of.
So did you say the robot, the thing that's closest to us, hand is moving? Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
imagine like a big solitary, like the big guy from the Klaatu Barada Nikto, that one.
War of the Worlds.
Perfect.
That not War of the Worlds.
Gesundheit.
The day the Earth stood still. Big guy, day the Earth stood still. Solitary humanoid figure, not really moving, but one arm is kind of pointed up, having fired this flare.
Perfect. As she slides out of the car and she hears the movement, she's going to look and she's going to see the arm begin to move, and she's immediately going to shoot right at the hand if she can. It says that there's 275 feet of.
Oh goodness, this thing's only like 50 feet in front of you. It's fine.
Oh Lord, that I love that, and also don't like that at all.
It walked up to you for that slow, dramatic burn of like thudding across the desert floor towards you. So go ahead and roll an attack, and our friendly neighborhood Rob is going to roll a defense.
Okay, I got a 19.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you definitely hit it. You beat an 8.
So it says 2d8 for my damage.
And then also roll a d12 for me for hit location. Well, no, I take that back. You wanted to hit its arm because you were kind of calling that. Yeah, absolutely. You 100% do.
I rolled the 2d8s and only got a 7.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, you fire off this shot. It does not hinder or stop the movement of this thing. And in that kind of heightened bullet time view, as you see this shot fire off and connect, you see that that highly chromed metallic skin almost kind of fluidly flex off, but then reforms right around where the impact was of the bullet. You know you hit it. You saw a chunk of it fly off, but the skin just kind of flows back in place.
Don't like that.
But we will go to top of the order here with Mox.
Question for you.
Yes.
You said we were in a natural amphitheater style area. Is there any rock formation, like an arch of rock overhead or anything like that?
So I'm going to say yes and no. Yes, those things are there. No, you are not directly underneath one.
Coolio.
But off to the side, absolutely.
So are the Winnebago's doors still closed? Is that correct? Like, because we just stopped. And Drall climbed out the window.
Yeah, I was going to say screech to a halt, but a tour bus doesn't screech to a halt. So you came to a halt. Drall has leapt out the window, fired off a shot. Mox was kind of in the back of the bus. So you're looking through the front. If in these moments you kind of reposition yourself within the Winnebago, that's totally fine. But yes, you are still inside the bus.
So Mox is going to grab one of the windows to open it, and right before doing so, just looks over his shoulder. I'll go play YYZ by Rush. And pulls out a .45 caliber as Neil Peart's drumming starts blaring over the drone. And I'm going to take 2 shots.
Okay.
Miss.
Well, actually, hold on.
Guarantee miss. I know you said 8.
Well, that was for that one. On this one, give me a 10.
Well, miss and hit.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So for the one that did hit, give me a D12 roll for placement, and then give me some damage.
10 for the D12.
In the leg, left leg.
And 18 total damage.
Oh, moly. Okay. So
7 and 4.
Very nice. So you're leaning out the window, you're pulling out your gun. That first shot flies a little bit wide. Your peripheral vision is kind of catching the flares going off above you, this weird amphitheater, some of the voices of people around you kind of echoing are pulling your attention a little bit. So one bullet slams right into the ground, erupting some dust. The second one hits home, kind of almost in the hip of this Rav, and you see it like it's not stepping forward, but you see it shake a little bit. Like you tell it was a solid impact. But again, the skin, that very chrome skin, almost flows back into place a little bit. I'm going to give you a bonus here because I think you got a nat 20 on your initiative roll, right?
I did.
Okay. So also give me an engineering check. Or, yeah, engineering, I think makes the most sense here.
I was like, damn it, not electronics. But the roll was good. So 18 plus 5, 23.
Whew, okay. And that's even better because you had a secret bonus that I gave you. So you notice...
I like secret bonuses.
Your engineering mind, as being someone who makes drones, tinkers with things, you recognize some very well-made, high-quality, like nanoparticle skin that is making this chrome body on top of the Rav. I don't know why I keep saying it weird tonight. I'm just weird tonight. Sorry, kids. You also are 99% sure this is just the skin on top of the armor and the muscular structure. You're very sure that this is not like a self-healing, self-repairing. This is just for show.
Oh, so the nanoparticle skin on there isn't actually, at least by my reckoning, providing anything other than aesthetics.
Yes.
Nice.
You're guessing there's some armor underneath, above the different mechanical parts of the structure, the different joints and chassis and things like that. But this feels like really fancy frosting on top of a robot cake.
So as Mox takes the shot, sees this, ducks back down, and can't help but subconsciously do some of the drumming from YYZ.
Sure.
Shouts, "Someone just wanted to look pretty. Don't let it distract you. Shoot the fuck out of it."
And it's B's turn.
Well, I don't know. It looks quite shiny to be shooting at it. Well, you know.
Is this against B's religion to like make something not chrome?
Maybe. B likes shiny things. B is like a wasteland corvid. It's fine. Don't worry about it. B will be trying to collect some of the nanobots at some point though, because everything will be chrome. Okay, so upon hearing Mox saying shoot the fuck out of it because it's just aesthetic, B is going to take out their combat bow, pop out the top of the Rav, kind of like pull it out and flip it up with a flourish and have it unfold and like look up at all of the people.
As you do that, there is like a wave of reaction from the crowd.
Fantastic.
It's in the heat of the moment, you're not sure if it's positive or negative, but they definitely appreciate the showmanship.
B appreciates the attention, so B's gonna play into it as much as possible. So B Upon hearing the crowd kind of go wild or not, making some noise, Bee's going to shake the bow a couple of times, like, yeah! And then slowly bring it down to aim at the Rov.
Okay.
Draw out one of the EMP arrows that Bee has. And she's going to aim at one of the joints. And it was the arm that got shot. It was the cannon arm that got shot?
The cannon arm has been shot, and the left leg has been shot.
Okay. I think I'm going to go for the left knee.
Okay.
And as I'm aiming for this, I'm going to be like, too bad this Rob's going to take an arrow in the knee. And then just giggle to herself. And be like, I hope somebody played those old games because this is just so perfect. And then like
you hear super quietly, I get that reference.
Yes. I'm just gonna pull back and fire.
All right.
Okay, hold on. I need to get my character sheet up. Apparently tonight is the night of dirty 20s.
Nice.
We like those. I hear.
Yeah, we do.
I hear we like
what
those
we
a
do.
lot.
Yes.
All right, so your arrow slams true. Give me a roll for that EMP damage.
All right. I got a 6.
Okay, that's fine. Two things you notice here as you fire this shot. The crowd reacts enthusiastically when that arrow hits. It's like that big ooh and ah with a big firework display. And then the other thing you notice is this arrow hits, there's that little telltale burst of blue light from the EMP detonating locally here. You see that the nano skin kind of peels back and doesn't regrow here. And you get a quick peek that the structure of this leg from Mox's shot immediately before you has just been blown to hell. And you're not quite sure how this thing is standing, but you know it's on its... You know that leg is about to fail mechanically.
Upon seeing that, Bee's gonna be like, do the crowd wave of like, yeah! And then pop back down into the Winnebago.
And Dog, what are you up to?
All right. So Dog saw the skin peel away, right? Can I roll a engineering to see if Dog knows what that
absolutely.
is?
Yeah, sure.
Here we go. That'd be a 28.
Holy moly. So yeah, you saw this happen. You know this is a very thin, like nano fiber almost. It's not any kind of armor. It's like something that they would make a flexible screen out of almost. You know, you can easily see and just intuit from your skill that this is something that has been purposefully laid over the armor and structure to make this thing look like it does. It has no other purpose. You can think of like a dozen different things you could do with a screen and nanotech like that, but it's being used for this purpose right now.
Seems pretty alien to Dog. Pretty interesting. So at that, Dog is going to, as his namesake, perk up and just go ballistic. And the door to the Winnebago is still closed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to barrel towards the door and kick it open. And as I kick it open, jump out and scream, "I'm going to skin you alive, you possum soup eating son of a bitch!" And start running at him in a serpentine pattern, firing my shotgun.
Okay, I love it. We're gonna do.
Can't believe you're shit talking possum soup, man.
Okay. I'm gonna give you an option here.
Yes.
Would you like to roll this more as an attack as you are moving forward, or would you like to essentially use your running and firing as kind of like a cover to move to a better location and maybe make some sort of social skill to assess what's going on with these people in the arena watching?
Oh, interesting. So
Yeah,
this isn't an open area, then there are...
This is a big open area. The Rav came out in front of you. You know that there are, on these big kind of rock formations up to the sides, people hanging off of them watching. So I'm giving you the option here of rolling an attack like normal with your gun, or letting the gun attack be flavor to use a different skill to maybe assess what's going on or learn more about the situation.
I think the second option would be pretty good there. So I'll be
cool.
Running and blind firing.
Yeah. So and you had you're using a shotgun?
Yes. The blind fire is 2 attacks.
Okay. So if it's okay with you, I will say that the blind fire was just kind of almost like cover fire. And so you're not aiming, you're not really intending to do damage with it. But I will let you make... we could make a performance check, an intimidation check, or... what's the other one I'm thinking of here? Maybe an investigation check?
Investigation, maybe. If I don't want to min-max, but I have negatives in charisma, Dog's really curious about this. Like, he wants this.
Investigation feels real good here because this is totally new. You're doing something kind of wild. Yeah, absolutely. Give me that investigation check.
Let's see. That's gonna be a 19.
Oh, okay, cool. So you notice immediately that the Rav is not tracking you. It's still focused on the Winnebago. And you also notice that the crowds, there's maybe, it's hard to count, a few dozen people hanging from these rocks. Some of them are perched on some overhangs or outcroppings. Some of them are hanging from cables and harnesses. You notice that they are all reacting like this is a show. This is all a performance for them.
Okay. That being, having noticed that, I'm going to scream out, "Sorry about the door, Galen. There's gargoyle people out here."
You also notice the light of the flares that the Rav shot off right at the start of this fight. They're fading, but the whole arena is still illuminated. It's still broad daylight, but the rocky overhangs and outcroppings are kind of making a little bit of shade. It's not like it's hard to see. So the light of the flare is still helping. You see it's kind of different colors. It's like fading and falling in different colorful patterns. It's kind of like a light show now that you're looking at it from outside the Winnebago. And you definitely see that, and it just catches your eye as you are running. It's almost like there's another layer above where most of these people are. And from that higher vantage point, there are maybe 3 or 4 shadowy figures watching all of this. And you see that stark difference where the crowd is hooting and hollering and enjoying the show, and these shadowy figures up above are maybe a little more seriously watching what's happening.
Can I impart this? Can I yell this to impart this upon the rest of the party?
I'm gonna say yes, as long as this is in a good dog-like version of communication, which may or may not be the clearest.
It may not make sense to anyone, so it's typical dog fashion of something like, "There's gargoyle people out here. They're lacking the show, and there's shadow people up in the sky."
Yes. Cool.
Take of that what you will.
All right. With that being done, so you have jumped out of the bus. You have serpentined across the desert floor. You're kind of catty corner from the bus. It's not like you're flanking the Rav with the Winnebago. You're off to the side from it, but you're still a little ways away from it. You didn't like run right behind it and stop. That would just be silly. You ran past it and you're kind of off at an angle.
Thank you.
As you do that, the Rav is going to start to stomp forward towards the Winnebago, and it is going to raise both arms, and you again feel that kind of thunking as things are slotting aside, and it is going to fire at the Winnebago itself, which is stationary right now, so I don't think it can miss. Unless the Winnebago has any countermeasures, Galen.
Can it dodge?
Well, I stopped it, so no, not really. I'm going to roll to just get the fuck out of the way as the person in the driver's seat.
Sure.
Okay. If you hit the cockpit, I have a dodge roll.
Okay. So what the Rav fires does immediately connect with the cockpit, the front of the Winnebago. And would you like to react first before you see what it is?
Galen will duck the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
That's what he's
What was
gonna, because it's shooting at it. So it's stopped, so he doesn't have to worry about it rolling. But he's getting out of the way, at least of the main windshield.
What was your dodge roll?
19.
Okay.
Technically a 21.
Cool. So you see this, you see the shot coming, you instinctually like kind of dodge back out of the way. Everyone's reacting to this, and the front of the Winnebago is now awash in a bunch of flares and fireworks going off.
That's not good for the paint job.
So the entire windshield is now obscured from these small, very brightly colorful explosions that are now just going off constantly.
The fuck is this, Burning Man?
Nah, it's not flooded here.
Yeah,
true.
But Galen, it is now your turn.
So Galen, first of all, you hit Bernadette, and Galen is gonna pick himself up, and knowing that it's fireworks and flares, that's just more of a problem at this point.
Mhm.
So Galen is gonna stomp out of the Winnebago because the Rov didn't hit Dog,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna look at the Rov. How far is the Rov from like the Winnebago at this point?
It's moved forward a little bit, but still around like 30, 40 feet.
Okay, so he's going to pull out his pistol and just start pointing at the but he's not going to point the pistol at it. He's going to point his other hand at it, and he's going to just start yelling at the Rov. And he's looking at it. Listen here, you motherfucker. You hit my goddamn Bernadette. I swear to God, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to whoop your candy ass. Now, what's your fucking name? What's your name?
I love it. All right. So, do you want
It
this to
doesn't
be
matter
more-
what your name is.
All right. All right. Give me an intimidate.
With a bonus.
Well, yeah. There's lots of bonuses behind all of this. Y'all are doing great.
That's not too bad on the intimidate. What do I got on that? That's a 14. That's not bad. That's not bad.
All right, cool. So you are
He's ready to start firing if shit goes south, though.
so the Rov turns towards you. The crowd responds with just an eruption of applause and catcalls, like, "Oh, look at the balls on this guy! What's he gonna do?" Like, some of them are in your corner supporting you that you're gonna take this thing on. Some other voices in the din are like, "Oh, he doesn't stand a chance," and it's just this back and forth between everybody. But the Rov does turn towards you.
Galen doesn't quite notice the crowd. He just looks at the Rob and goes, "Oh, fuck."
And the torso swirls a little bit and resolves into like a vid screen, and it's playing back the video of you doing what you just did. Only it has this like really warped filter on you, so like you're all contorted and your face is all jacked up. It's like it's mocking you. It's like playing this back to just make fun of you for what you just did. And that is
God
gonna
damn
bring
it.
us to Drall.
Okay, this may be a silly question, but Rab, so is that controlled by someone else?
Yes.
Like an RC car, right?
Yes.
So
Only much
for
more.
assholes.
Good
can
analogy.
I'm just great with.
Did you get it from Radio Shack?
Did you pieces of shit? No.
In this alternate universe, Radio Shack is still around and one of the
Is-
dominant corporations.
The corp. Yeah, I mean, it's the corp.
Put that in the
So-
next errata, Mallo.
Fuck. Is it possible to? So she sees this thing and she sees its skin hologram thing shimmer, and she goes. And then so she takes her hood down so she can get full 360, and it's like in the movies where you have the hood comes down real slow and her hair's all tied back to her head so it doesn't flow, but usually it flows, you know the kind. And then you can see from like down here the camera is like all the way around 360 as they like look up, and you see all the people on the rocks all the way around just watching down. I'm looking for the guy with the controller.
Okay, cool. So you as a character know that with Rovs, a controller is completely jacked in. Their meat body goes inert. With quantum technology, they shut their bodies off and their brain is fully functional within the
Got it.
Rov unit. So you are essentially looking for an inert body at this
I'm just
point.
looking for a guy that's chilling.
You're just
you
looking
know?
for a guy, right?
Got
Normally,
no bones, but he's chilling.
go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay, so I gotta find my perception on my sheet. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good old 12.
Even with that, you can clearly notice, especially because Dog kind of called it out, that there is a small group of people higher up within this rock structure. And
Gargoyle people. Ah!
and up above them were the shadow people. That's who you're looking at. They catch your eye because they are not moving and engaging with this show like the rest of the people are. So their lack of motion, their lack of motion, that was movement and motion put together, is what draws your eye. And you can't make out any specifics about them. You just see 3 or 4 shadowy shapes. Clearly humanoid, clearly people. It's an easy guess that maybe one of them is the pilot and it's just zonked out. It's equally logical, though, that the pilot is hidden somewhere else. Quantum technology means you've got, a half a planet worth of range, if not more. So he could be in space, but he's probably somewhere close by. You're not sure, but you've got a good idea of where they are, at least who's in charge of this.
Okay.
You want to do anything else?
Yeah, I want to. Oh, I shoot my gun.
Okay.
Okay. So as she is, she surveys this area and she sees him, and then she's like, "Oh, Sky, gargoyle, Sky, got it." And then she pulls out her. It says that I can pull out a different weapon as a free action. Yeah?
Sure.
So she just rips this thing Velcro style off of the side of her pants, and it is a shotgun. She sits it on her hip, and she looks at the sky, but it's aimed towards the giant aesthetic robot man.
Ooh.
And she goes, "Too far for me, right there. That's his brain." And she shoots. She goes to the robot guy as she's gesturing to the brain in the sky.
So you are doing this style off the hip shot while calling out a target.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Give me an attack roll.
Okay, I hope it's good, because otherwise that really sucks. Is it possible to? It says so. Combat shotgun with the tactical flashlight. It has it says speed 2/1. What does that mean?
So that means
shoot it twice.
So that means if you were basically shooting wild without caring where you aimed, you could do two shots. Or if you wanted to do one specific shot at one specific location, it's just one shot.
Now, it's got to be one specific body part. You're shooting at a general person, right?
Okay, so I get the 2?
You get the 2, yeah.
Pop, pop!
Bang, bang, gang!
Bang, bang, gang, gang! 13 for the first one.
So that will miss. But the performance of firing this shot off from the hip does not go unnoticed by the crowd.
So I get style points. That's
style
almost
points.
Better.
Yeah.
In an arena type setting.
Yeah.
And the second one is a 19.
Cool. So neither of them do damage. But the style points, you essentially hear that the crowd's roar in surging to celebrate what you have just done. You strike a pose, you're pointing up, you fire from the hip. You get that feeling that the crowd is completely in your corner at this point, and they're loving it.
Can she say something under her breath? As she
Sure.
Does this, as she goes to slap her shotgun back down or reload it or whatever.
Yeah.
She just goes, "Fucking smooth brain DJs."
And after that happens, the Rav is continuing a little bit of movement towards Galen, and it is going to take a swipe at you. But probably miss. Can you beat a 12?
No, I cannot.
Oh, dang. Okay. So.
No, I got a 9.
Oh. The Rav also got a 9. It just has bonuses.
Yep.
So, Drall has just done this big dramatic show moment. The crowd is kind of reacting and surging in your favor. You know that the danger is in front of you, but you also look up to see what she's pointing at, just to try to understand what's happening.
I'm gonna disagree with you there for just a second, because
Yeah.
as the Rav is coming closer, Galen just continues shit talking it.
Oh,
It's just, oh, you think you a big man? Oh, you think you a big fucking man coming at me like that? Oh, I see how to fucking, oh shit.
okay.
And then
that's
I'm
better.
gonna have to take a hit. I know.
Yeah, you're
We'll go get
100% right.
smacked.
So you see your warped reaction as not react your warped reflection and this warped video playback as you are shit talking this Rav. It raises one of its hands and just smacks you across the face. I mean, this is just like a big boom.
Thank
It's
God
like
I have armor.
it's not a backhand, it's like a downward hand because he's so
Is
much
this-
taller than you.
Yeah, it's like Will Smith. Like,
Yeah.
just yeah.
What
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
It's a big Will Smith slap. You are gonna take 12 damage to 6.
Okay. All right. That's ow.
So that was your left arm.
Yep.
Do you how would this play out? Would you fall to the ground? Would you just kind of take the hit and roll with it? What happens as this thing just marches over and slaps the shit out
Well,
of
it
you?
doesn't tickle, that's for sure. But I mean, Galen's got armor on, so that's absorbed by the armor. So he's gonna kind of take it, and in his like best possible way, he's gonna continue to try to look strong. But it's like getting chopped by like Gunther or like Imura Suzuki. You want to try to make it look like you're tough, but it really hurts. It really hurts. You're like, you just hear Galen just go, ooh, oh, oh. And he's trying to
Love
hide
it.
that from the crowd, but
All right. The crowd is still surging with enjoyment of what's happening here. And we're going to bring it back around to Mox. Way back at the top of the order.
All right. So, as the door is open and the window was open, can I glance out, see where these shadowy figures are, and get a general idea for how far up in a way they are, their distance?
Ballpark 100, 150. Like from ground level up.
Wonderful. So Mox is going to, with 45 still in his left robotic hand, grabs Casey, my rifle, and come on, Goth, and runs out of the Winnebago to put the Winnebago between him and the Rav.
Okay.
Will slide down to the ground, if possible, if there's a rock or something. So finding a boulder of some sort that he can slide behind, and drops the pistol to his side and takes the rifle, pulls out the precision aiming setup, sets it on the rock, and starts to scope up to the shadowy figures. I'm going to use the sniper shot talent, which takes 2 rounds. So I'm going to use this first round to try to aim the shot, and if possible, see if one of them is standing or not moving more than any of the others since I have the 8 times scope.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, you run out of the Winnebago, you kind of baseball slide into a smaller rock formation that's on the ground. Just some. You drop your handgun behind you. I think Argos picks it up like a good boy. But you are focused on, and you're very skilled with Casey. So you're bringing it to bear. You're bracing it on the rock. Your scope kind of clicks into place. Are you just looking through the scope, or is it like connected via AR to a robot eye or glasses?
I do have a. Mechanically, I haven't chosen. It is just a scope.
Okay.
But if for flavor, I can have it go to the cybernetic eye that Mox has, that would be awesome.
So I think what we can say here is it's not giving you a mechanical bonus to be connected through AR or anything. It's not like extra targeting, but you definitely have it keyed in through that cyber eye you have.
The way I kind of envision it is, since it's my right eye that is cybernetic, if it's open, I can look through the scope, but as soon as I just shut that eye, it switches the view over to the cybernetic one.
Yeah, absolutely. So you settle in for that long breath of just gauging your shot. You're very skilled at this. You know how to do this. Your muscle memory kicks in. You kind of center your body. You center your breath. You tune out the chaos of the arena, the outside world. You're looking through the scope. You see 3 figures standing. And you see them clear as day with your scope. So one of them is real tall and lanky, like skeleton thin almost. This one is dark tan, like sunburned kind of skin. Not like he was out and got a sunburn. He's been out in the sun so long. His skin has got that real dark tan, burn, leathery kind of feel. Completely bald, no eyebrows, no shirt, and he's just standing there, arms crossed, looking at everything. The figure next to him appears to be female. Goggles, cyber gear, brawny, shorter than him, but you're guessing he's abnormally tall, so she's probably normal height. Not as buff as Callisto was, but definitely not a weakling. But you see that she's got lots and lots of gear slung from bandoliers, pockets on her belt, that kind of thing. Clearly a tech head. Clearly someone who knows what's going on with the electronic side of things. Last figure, can't really make out much more because they're kind of like the furthest point of the triangle behind these other two. And even with the 8 times zoom, they're just farther back in the shadow. You can see there's a figure there. It feels like there's something on their head. You're not sure if it's a helmet. It kind of feels like it might be big headphones, but it also kind of feels like it's coming up and back from their head like a weird bicycle helmet. It's just got this a very weird skull shape, and you're not super sure who or what that person is. Neither of those 3 seems like someone who is sacked out controlling the ROV. You know what a ROV pilot looks like. You know that look like they're asleep. It's a meat body that just got ragdolled in the corner. The 2 that you can make out and the 3rd one behind them, you're pretty sure they're observing what's happening. But that is that is the extent of what you are doing on your turn, because that was a lot of information, and we're going to bring it back to B.
Did Mox relay any of that information? Of what you just saw in the scope?
You know what? Knowing him, no.
Okay.
He was sitting there trying to figure out which to go with, and now he's playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo to figure out who to shoot.
Yeah. I also feel like he was so focused through his sniper skill and kind of taking in this information. He was really locked in to that moment of the shot and not shouting information back to the group.
Yeah, I feel the hyper focus. All
Yeah.
right. Well, in that case, B, knowing that Galen does not want Bernadette to be hurt anymore, especially as she can hear like, well, what's going on outside? It's gonna climb back out of the top hatch of the Winnebago. Take out the bow again, because it's a survival bow.
Yeah.
She can fold it up. And then do a cool, like, cartwheel flip down onto the ground in front of Bernadette.
Okay.
And then strike, like, a pose to the crowd and point up and be like, yeah. And then B's gonna take out another EMP arrow, aim at the other knee
Okay.
of the Rav,
Okay.
and shoot.
Cool. So as you flip and cartwheel off of this thing, you again hear the crowd reacting favorably and positively. You hear that, ooh, ah. You hear like one voice way in the back, there she goes again. It's gonna be great. Like someone is really into you as a character right now. You strike this pose, you take the shot. Give me an attack roll.
Shoot. Do 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 do.
Please don't roll a 1.
I did not roll a 1.
Okay.
I am trying to math in my head though, and that's quite fun. 17.
Cool.
Hey.
So, because of the movement that has happened, you are kind of you're in front of Bernadette, but you're behind the Rav because it has moved kind of over towards Galen. So you kind of cartwheeled in front of Bernadette, so you're now like essentially flanking the Rav, but further away from it. So it is between you and Galen. So you're shooting it in the like back of the knee, and you connect. So go ahead and give me that EMP damage roll.
11.
Okay.
And with this connecting shot, I'm gonna blow a kiss in the general direction of the person who was like, you got that.
So again, you see the you see the nano skin peel back, like burn, like skin being burned away, not re-knitting itself. So you can see the servos and the electronics of the Rav underneath. You see the damage connect, and you hear a tussle break out in the crowd as someone tries to tackle someone else out of the way to catch the kiss that you blew at them. And you hear a bunch of people arguing and some fisticuffs being thrown.
Wizard. I love this.
And dog.
All right. So the crowd's up, right?
The crowd's riled up. The crowd's in your favor.
On a meter of 1 to 10, where would you say, if this were like a video game, how raucous is the crowd?
Oh, 11.
Okay.
It is chaos. They are screaming at each other. They're fighting with each other. They're yelling at you. They're celebrating what's going on. This is just pure chaotic energy.
All right. And how far away am I from the Rav, roughly? With everything that's gone on?
30, 40 feet, give or take.
Okay, cool. And then the Rav is not. There's no eyeballs from the Rav or whatever towards Dog, right?
No, not at all. It has its back turned to you for the most part because it just walked over to Galen and slapped him in the face.
Okay. Sensing the crowd's energy, Dog is starts thinking to himself, like, we could maybe use this. He takes his shotgun and fires it up in the air. Bah! And then yells, "The first thing I want to be done is to get that piece of crap out of my stadium. Don't just get him out of the stadium, get him out of the waste, because I've proven, son, we will prove, my man, my dudes, my ladies, without a shadow of a doubt, that he ain't got what it takes anymore. He sits there and thumping his Bible, and he says his prayers, but it didn't get him anywhere. Talk about Psalms and John 3:16, Dog 3:16 says I just whooped his ass. We just whooped his ass. All he's got to do is go get him a cheap bowl of possum soup and try to dig back some of that courage he had in his prime. Fire again. Pow!
Well done, sir. Oh my God, love it. So the crowd hushes for a moment and then erupts with celebration and screams. Like, this is just an insane show. You get the feeling that this is not something the crowd has seen before, the way they are reacting to you. So you're getting the vibe that, like, this is something they do frequently to see what's up with people who come into their territory. And y'all are just owning this crowd and taking over.
Reading the room.
This is 100% successful. No roll needed. The crowd is completely on your side.
Bang, bang.
What I would like you to do, though, is give me a performance check. This is not for your skill or your success. This is to kind of gauge what the crowd does.
It's going to be a 6.
Perfect. No, that's great. That's great.
Did I stutter a lot?
No, you pulled that off perfectly and flawlessly. The crowd is now so enraptured with this performance that all of you, specifically led by Dog, have put on, that they are flooding the arena floor. The gargoyles are jumping off the ledges. They are jumping down the zip lines from the ones that were hanging. They are rushing towards you with like to pick you up on their shoulders and carry you around the arena in celebration. They push past the Rav. It kind of jostles a little bit back and forth. A couple of them are like, "Get it out of here! Get it out of here! Roll it back! We're good! We're good!"
Galen is very confused what's going on right now.
You are all, well, not Mox, because Mox was kind of separated from this. So the rest of you that were kind of not clustered together, but out in front engaging with this fight, you're now surrounded by this crowd of 4 or 5 dozen dust jockeys. It's real smelly, as B pointed out from last episode, but you're all hopped up on adrenaline and sweat right now. They are surrounding you. They are patting you on the back. They're trying to shake your hands. 3, 4 people at once are trying to talk to each of you, like, "Oh, how'd you do this? Where'd you come from? What do you guys do?" Like, they are all just trying to get your attention and engage with you and like just vibe with how cool y'all are. Mox, from your little sniper spot, you notice that the 3 figures turn away from this happening and have a conversation. you see that the tall super skin one kind of is scowling at this point, looks very, very upset, arms crossed, that body language when you're just not engaged in the conversation. Very, very very much disliking what is happening right now. The one that had a lot of tech, a lot of electronic equipment on her, she is engaged in the conversation, but she's doing that thing where like she's working and keying things in while she's talking. You kind of guess that maybe she's like jotting down some notes or looking at some readouts, like some tech readouts from what have been going on. And the third figure, the one that you really couldn't see well before, chit-chats with them for a second and then moves to the front of the ledge where they were standing before, so you can see that one a little bit clearer now. This one seems to be like a real buff dude, real stacked, real ripped, big beard, wearing a shirt but it's open, so you can see his muscles and his abs.
Go on.
I keep doing this to myself. I'm just giving everything.
That is.
Yeah.
Down for this.
Okay, I'm just gonna lean into it. So he was wearing like a button-up shirt and suspenders, but it's open, like it's open down to his navel almost. So you can see all those Ripley muscles. Shirt sleeves are rolled up. Beefy arms as hell. Just very much. Very much like you, sir.
Everyone liked that.
Incredibly handsome.
I mean for the evening. Have a good night.
Incredibly handsome, muscly, tendony arms. You can see that he's got something on his wrists. You're not sure if it's jewelry. You're not sure if it's tech. You're not sure if it's tattoos. But you see something like specifically, almost kind of highlighted around his wrists. He's got a very big beard. It's like, at Christmas time there's sometimes those like buff Santas, not the jolly Santas. It's like a buff Santa beard, so it's like really
gift.
Right, it's really thick, it's really full. It's not white though, it's like a very dark gray. And you saw that what was that weird, almost like a bicycle helmet head. Now that he's kind of moving out a little bit, he's actually got, as weird as this is to see, like horns, like satyr horns almost, coming out from his forehead and curling down into the beard.
Demon Daddy, yes!
And you see this guy step to the edge and look down at everybody. And you see him, it looks like he is talking to the crowd. Like he has, you see his mouth moving. He has that pose of someone who is like standing at a podium talking to a group of people in front of him, but he's, 100 feet off the ground. And as he is doing this throng of people that is around the rest of your party starts to like organize. And like they were just going wild. They were wild. They were raucous. They were like patting everyone on the shoulders. They were lifting Dog up on their shoulders. They were trying to celebrate. And as he is up there doing this, you see that they are like stopping, calming down, not coming to attention, but they are calmed down and organized.
Mox had these three in his sights, and when the bald one was being a little antagonist, there was a moment where like the trigger finger starts to just graze along the trigger, and then just looks up a little bit to see that they are not accosting my associates. Damn it. Just about to have some fun. Kind of shoulders the rifle and starts walking towards the rest of the group. But as the first of the DJs walks my way and starts to like approach Argos, just immediately draws the 45. Don't touch my fucking dog.
And they throw their hands up, they back away, let you walk past. So now you're all there. You're kind of surrounded by this group of dust jockeys. The Rav is still standing there, but is now at the back of the crowd. And none of them are really interacting with you anymore. Like, it's not like they're ignoring you. It's not like they're shut down. It's just that they're almost waiting.
Mox, what? Dog, what?
Mox just points up towards the three. I think the big bearded one, who frankly is gorgeous, told them to settle down for a moment.
Yeah, so you can look up and see this figure kind of lording over the
Hey, that
crowd.
motherfucker have horns on him.
And
That motherfucker have horns on him. He looks over at Mox. The fuck?
He's extra horny.
He thought fucking. You know, he's never heard that joke. I'm sure.
If he hasn't, we should go tell it to him right now.
And once you kind of get the sense that once he sees that you have seen him, he walks away, like further back into this rocky outcropping, so you don't see him anymore. And the other two kind of continue to argue for a moment, and then eventually they leave as well.
Galen will turn back to the group and go, strong silent type, eh?
One of the most of them just kind of shrug, but one of them taps his headset, and you kind of intuit that they're all communicating just in ways you don't hear.
Is it possible that Drall, dealing in information, being familiar with the region in some way or form, know or have heard anything about Horny Boy and the associates?
That feels to me like an underground check.
I thought so, maybe. That's my good one. So I do it?
Yeah, do it. Knock it out.
17.
Ooh, okay. Dust jockeys are a tough nut to crack. They're a very closed society. No one knows much about them other than how brutal they are. You know not to cross their territory. You know not to make deals with them. You know that you know that the only time they leave their territory is when they are like obtaining a thing, running a mission, killing somebody, getting gear, and they bring it back home. They're not. It's not like they're not like xenophobic, but they just don't leave their territory. They're always protecting their home base, so to speak. So it's real hard to know things about them. But Drall specializes in knowing things. So over the years, she has been able to put stories together. She's been able to pull some information from people. She's gleaned bits and pieces of information from different conversations, from different communications, different things on the message board. obviously the crew, the gang, has leaders. There's some sort of very tough leadership structure. No one's 100% sure who's in charge, how it's actually structured. But there has been a name that you've heard floating around. You don't know if it's a boss, the boss, but you know that whoever this is, you've heard some stories. You're gonna guess that that's maybe who you're looking at right now, or who you were just looking at. Yeah, Horny Boy typically goes by Freddie Mercury.
The true queen. We love that. Okay. So having this information and kind of starting to piece together, that we were entertainment for them, essentially, kind of not feeling an impending sense of imminent danger, and kind of seeing this horned individual, Drall, she puts her hand on the side of her shotgun to kind of like she's putting her hand on her hip, but more badass. And then she leans over to Galen and goes, I think that might be the Mercury. Not sure. Don't piss it off.
Galen just very almost imperceptibly kind of nods, and so file that away for a moment.
And
I'm very glad he didn't do what he was gonna do then.
And as you've been thinking and talking, it's been not a long amount of time, but a minute or two, where you're kind of standing there in this suddenly quiet crowd, and that really tall rock formation that those three figures were standing on, at the base of it, a door slides open, and the two of the figures walk out, not Shreddy. The really tall, angry one and the shorter tech one. And the tall, angry one is kind of leaning back against the door. Again, body language is he's upset, he's angry, he doesn't want to be doing this, and he motions for everyone to come over. If no one responds instantly, he does it again.
The moment movement is perceived in the hand that's bringing this way, even before this happens, just this, she's already on her way over there.
Okay.
She extends her finger like this towards Galen so that he follows her.
Yeah.
The dust jockeys that were surrounding you do not move. In fact, they kind of part, like the waves parting, so you have a little bit of a column to walk through, and some of them kind of move behind you, not pushing you that way, but like making it clear that that's what you're doing now.
As we're approaching, she is going to take her hand off of her gun, obviously, as she approaches, but not beforehand. So, now that we've entered the playpen, what comes next?
So we've got two figures here. The one that the woman who is, now that you're closer to her, she's maybe 5'5", 5'8". Again, not ripped, but desert strong. Like she's very capable. You can see that she is wearing light coveralls, like work focused coveralls, lighter in a lighter fabric that's not too hot in the desert, but clearly she's not out in the desert because she's wearing more clothes than would be comfortable to be out in the heat of the desert. She has got a bunch of hip pouches. You can see wiring and technology. You can see multiple glows. You can see that she's got 2 cyber eyes, as well as like AR goggles with things built into them, with wires coming out of them, plugged into some ports along her neck and shoulders. One of her hands is clearly cyber. Her left hand is cyber. So in her right hand, she's holding, it's almost like a bunch of glows stacked together to make a super glow. And she's like doing stuff on all of them simultaneously, because her left hand, her cyber hand, some of the fingers have split and extended into multiple smaller fingers skittering control rods that she has skittering over all of these hollow screens. She acknowledges your presence, but is clearly focused on her work. And she's not mumbling, but she's like talking to herself and then occasionally raising her voice so it's clear that she's talking to you. Okay, so the servers actuate at 3.5, and then I've got to redo the musculature structure. I've got to revamp. Okay, which one of you shot it? You. No, all of you. Wait, which one of you shot the knee? Oh wait, and like she's going back and forth kind of as she's talking.
Can I, as I raise my hand saying I'm the one that shot it in the knee, can I use electronics to try to identify like some of the specific names? Not that you have to say them, but like brand names or specific things that she has on her.
Oh yeah. Give me a roll.
29.
All right, so
you don't have to list brand names.
You know that all of this is custom gear. Like, you recognize core cyber structure. You recognize the cyber build that lets you kind of split your hands into multiple appendages for really, really like laser fast rapid typing. You can see multiple data ports, meaning enhanced memory, extra processing. She's probably got some sort of built-in scanner suites and packages. Like, you can just tell instantly that she is decked out to the nines, but it is all like research and building. None of it is offensive. It's not like she is a cybered out street samurai merc to go punch people. It's not offensive weaponry. This is all observational, repairs, building, scanning. She's just like a walking laboratory.
So, first, I shot the knee. Second, you're beautiful. Third, how do you like the split fingers? I was thinking about that for a future upgrade.
So
holding up my cyber left hand.
Yeah. So she's gonna like ignore most of your questions, but answer some of your questions. And then you realize after like 30 seconds later, something she's saying is actually answering one of your questions after the fact, like stream of consciousness, circling conversation. She is bouncing all over the place. It's not like she's scattered. It's not like she's incoherent in any way. It's just so many multiple streams of conscious processing are happening and overlapping each other. So she's firing off a couple questions at you. She's firing off a couple questions at B because of the EMP arrows. She's firing off a couple questions at Galen, asking about how it felt to get slapped. If the experience
real fucking good.
If the experience could have been made more pleasurable or more impactful. Like, it's almost like she's doing a survey to all of you and recording all of this data. Sometimes she's also talking to people who clearly aren't there, and you immediately connect, oh, she must be talking to a crew or something somewhere else, like she may be talking to some subordinates or something. So this is all going on. Her body language responds as you walk up that she is like moving to let you walk into this elevator lift, and then all of this is happening after you have moved in. It's like over the next couple minutes. As you walked up to this, though, the very angry, very tall man who was leaning on the door is, as I described, skeleton thin, dark tan. You're not sure if his torso and arms are covered in scars or incredibly fine tattoo work. You're just not sure. Bare-chested, nothing on his arms, nothing on his neck, no hair, no eyebrows, no jewelry, wearing like very heavy work pants, not with cargo pockets, but like just really thick, heavy work pants. Maybe a faded pinstripe design, you're not sure, and real heavy, thick boots, steel toe on the exterior, scuffed, sand beaten and blown. And they're platforms. That's why he's so tall. So he's standing there, and he is glaring death glares at each of you as you walk over.
Really quick, I just have... which side of his head is currently facing me, his left or his right?
So when you were walking towards the elevator and it was in front of you, he was leaning on your left.
And looking towards me, so I could probably see the right side of his head.
Yes.
So as I approach him, seeing him still look like this, and Mox is just going to look at him and say, "By the way, you have a beautiful left temple," and then tap his rifle.
He sighs, and he doesn't like lean towards you, but he shifts his body language a little bit, so he's kind of engaged with you. You are cutie for my cab later.
I'm sure what you just said was interesting, but I made out none of it. I apologize. Getting old, you see.
My very, very terrible voice work there. You're all welcome.
I understood it.
Yeah. Yeah, we all got it
too.
Bad at voices. Anyway, so yeah, he says that to you. You all enter this lift. Doors close. It descends. It's a long ride.
I bet it is.
Loading screen ride.
Yeah.
Weren't we on a fucking time crunch or something?
Yeah, you were. Drall, you want to maybe check the package and the readout on that?
Yeah, it's probably time to do that, eh? She is going to try to do it pretty secretively, I would think.
Sure.
It's my shit.
Yeah, you want to give me a sleight of hand?
Sure, let's go for that. Let me find my sleight of hand on my sheet. Oh, there he is. Hello, guy. 19.
Ooh, cool. But yeah, you can very slyly. Where have you like stashed it? Is it at your hip? Is it in a jacket? Where have you been keeping it through all this?
So I have so she has a big hoodie that she has, and it's got pockets on the inside, on the underside.
Okay.
So she unsnaps it, and it slides right out the bottom.
Cool.
From within her jacket.
Cool. So you can very sneakily slide it out. It's got that twist and then pop open lid that you looked at last time when you thought it was a bomb and almost threw it across the desert, but then you were totally a professional and never did that.
Yeah, no, I would never actually. I was just giving you.
You were just thinking about it.
Yeah, I just think about it, girl. I ain't gonna do it though.
Yeah. So you have to. It's gonna make that hissing noise from the coolant releasing.
I'm gonna cough during.
So you cough during it. You also kind of. You've been in the couple moments that you have been descending on this lift, you've gotten a quick read on the tech lady and her, like the pattern of her talking, and you can time it when she gets a little bit louder to talk to someone in the lift with you. Like you sense it's coming. She turns to B and asks a question about the harmonic frequencies of the EMP bolt and how those interacted with the tendon strength of her left shoulder. And in that moment, like you pop it open and you look at it, you're down to like 3/4 time remaining. So if it was an hour, you'd have like 45 minutes left. So that chunk of the pie piece is missing, but this is multiple hours.
Okay. She's gonna. I assume Galen would have probably clocked that this was happening. He's probably seen her slide shit out of the inside of her hoodie before. It's oddly, weirdly bigger on the inside. So when he sees this, she's gonna make eye contact and go. And she's gonna tap on her hip where the glow is, because she wouldn't tap a watch because you don't have those, right? So she'll just tap her glow and go. We don't have much time to play.
Far be it for me to disprove this hospitality, but we do need to be making a move on some things. I appreciate the thoroughness of the survey that we have here and all like that, but we do need to be making a move across this here desert. Will this take too long?
The tall guy sighs like it is such a bother to take a breath to form a word to speak to you.
Does he sparkle in the sunlight?
No.
Okay. I mean, he's definitely the emo one of the group, but...
If he had hair, it would be a scene swoop. Yeah. But he doesn't. You have a feeling, though, he had some MySpace photos back in the day.
Yeah. It's not a scene. It's a goddamn Arden's race.
Gonna say something else that it didn't make sense yet, but we're not there. It takes as long as it takes. Be quiet.
Galen kind of starts nodding his head, doing his thing. He's like, all right, okay.
Argoth, play Sound of Silence.
Argos goes to play the music, but then nothing comes out.
Damn it. Locked.
And the lady who was blah 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 blah, the internal frequencies of the muscular structure of your eyeballs. Oh yeah, we're in a Faraday cage, and just keeps going with something else that she's talking about.
You kind of figured that.
You feel the elevator like slow to a halt and break. The doors slide open. There is kind of like a small circular room that the elevator opens into. And there's 3 hallways, one to the left, one to the right, and one dead ahead. The tech lady, head down, buried in her work, exits and goes to the left. The tall guy again, that deep sigh, shoves himself up from the wall with his shoulders and just kind of slouches off to the right. And the hallway in front of you, which is mood lighting. It's not dark, it's not bright. It's got some mood lighting. Some running lights along the floor illuminate. Boop, 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 boop. And they kind of cycle back in pattern. Like, oh, it's time to walk this way. Boop, 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 boop. And they cycle back. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh dear. We've got landing gear.
As we hit the intersection where the left and the right and straight ahead go off and people start walking forward, Mox is going to look left. So, like, do you have dinner plans or anything? We could talk shop, you know. Nice meeting you. Damn it.
Another time, friend. Another time. Did you get a number? In all of that gobbledygook that she did you at least get a number?
Oh, maybe if I maybe there was a code in there. Yet maybe she was giving me her number in code. Yet I have to think about everything she said now.
That does sound like something she would do. As he looks back at Dog and just kind of nods.
Let's see. She said there were 4 servos, so her first number is 4. Okay, got it.
Galen takes Drall's arm and starts very quickly like walking where these lights start lighting up and stuff. And it kind of leans down and whispers to her, it's like, we gotta make this quick and get the fuck out of here. How much time do we have left?
We've got 3 quarters left.
Shit. Okay. Let's negotiate and get the hell out of here.
To get back to the Winnebago and get the fucking show on the road and like this payout so we can get the next one. But
yeah. Okay.
They're playthings. Oh, yeah.
No, we'll make it quick and get out of here. And he starts trying to hustle up down the hallway.
All right. So it's a relatively short hallway. It's straight, doesn't twist or turn or anything. Brings you to a pair of heavily frosted glass doors. And the running lights that were kind of leading you this way then move to like the base of the door and kind of run along the base of the door, meet, and then go up the middle of the door. And as the lights run up the middle of the door slides apart. Very stylish. You all noticed as you were walking down this hallway, it's cool, it's comfortable. You walk onto a terrace with kind of like a waist-high fence around it. It's very dark. Your eyes have to adjust a second, even from the lower light of being in this hallway. And you get this feeling as you walk forward that the ceiling is either very high or like not there. Like, you know that sense when you walk into a really big room and you're like, oh shit, this is a big room. That's what you're feeling right here. You feel cold. You feel damp moisture. It's comfortable from living out in the waste, but it's also kind of spooky. It's dark. And you see, as your eyes adjust, you start to see some lights. You see it's a very natural light, not fluorescent LEDs. It's just natural lighting. And you look around the room, you were in maybe a massive underground cave. Very cool. You see rock walls, damp with moisture. You realize that the light is coming from like solar reflectors and refractors that are pulling the sunlight from the surface underground and kind of diffusing it around you. You realize you've been hearing a noise that you think is just kind of like background noise or static for a second, and then you realize it's running water. You're on this terrace. It's like a big half circle, half moon terrace. Does anyone walk to the edge and look out? Drall does. Okay.
No, he does.
B does. You walk to the edge. You look down. You get vertigo for a second. It's so deep. You see greenery, living plants, water flowing. You see, like, you know forests used to exist. This is like a forested environment underground. It smells it smells very green and vibrant, which is things you've never really smelled in this capacity before. Like you've got living plants, you got little house plants and things like that, but this is like overwhelmingly natural and different from desert life in the wastelands.
Drall is going to put her hands on her hips, immediately turn to our A1 Beastie lady and go, so, this is why you don't leave.
Oh, she's not there.
Oh, JK. This is why they don't leave.
Fancy
And
digs.
as you say that, you hear kind of a low, growly voice. Yeah, I took a while to put together, but I like it. And you look over, and that's Mr. Mercury sitting at a small table. And he's got it's a table with seats for all of you. Kind of an oblong table. There's a nice little buffet set out with looks like food, drinks. When we have a chat.
B sits near the cheese.
Galen will holster his weapon finally and saunter over there, and he'll look at him and he'll go, "I appreciate the hospitality, but we do have some matters that we need to attend to. I would appreciate if we could get on the road here sooner rather than later, if that's okay with you."
Well, you've got business to attend to, but my business is what she's carrying. And he points at Drall.
She's going to put her hand just right over her stomach instinctively. Oh, I wasn't aware there were any crossed wires. What do you need it for?
And Galen look over there and be like, "You pregnant?"
Yeah, B's definitely like face full of cheese, like baby.
And she sees B like cheesing and like looking at her like she's crazy. She's going to just reach inside of her hoodie and unsnap the bottom of it and let it slide out into her hand.
And do you just hold it there? Or do you put it on the table?
Oh, I'm holding that shit.
Okay, cool. So as you pull it out, he says, "Yep, that's what we went through all this trouble for. So why don't we figure out whether or not I have to kill you all today?"
Hey, whoa.
That would be quite the inconvenience, considering you killed our liaisons.
Yep. Well.
No, I didn't.
Well, then,
That
You
was
have
not.
some mutants.
Wait. So you didn't clear out a transport unit?
Nope.
inside check.
Go for it.
Dog has some things he wants to say after that, depending, and while
17.
stuffing food.
Seems like a
Galen,
straight
no
shooter
trust.
to you.
Okay.
Seems like a straight shooter. He's not casually sitting in his chair, but he's not like ramrod straight in his chair. He's kind of
He's not doing that thing where he puts one leg over the arm of it. Good. Just check.
no.
Hey.
He's not sitting with
This is still-
rampant
this is
bi
still-
energy like we
Yeah.
all do.
Yeah. Okay. I
No,
was trying to gauge the room here for a second.
No, he's leaning forward a little bit. He's got one hand up on the arm, other hand kind of down on his knee. I never had a problem owning a kill. That wasn't ours though.
You just got a pet running around then? Sorry, dog.
Down here we do. Yeah, down here we do, but not up top. Too dangerous.
Well, now, as a face full of grapes or whatever's on the table, just eating food, like, hold on now.
Also, this is like real food. This is like real fruit and bread and cheese.
This is why
Nice.
B's got a
Y'all-
mouthful of cheese
y'all-
right now.
y'all- This is not normal for y'all. This is real good.
It
This is
is
you're gonna
well
have
beat
a
up.
tummy ache later.
Bee and Dog did not hesitate. We're just like, yep, if it's fucking poison, then fine. Yeah, Dog with the face full of food, like, okay, wow, first off, starting out by threatening to kill us for fucking whatever that is, not a good start out, brother. Not a very good start to a conversation or negotiation or whatever you want to do. Second of all, we done found it. You didn't found it, and maybe you should have looked a little harder if that's what you've been looking for. Seems like you could have got it. I'm just saying, but we got it. So that's all I really need to say about that. Seems like closed case. Boom. And does the book close? Matt.
Sound argument, but at the end of the day, it is here with me. You're here too. Can you get out of here without my permission?
Did you just see what I did to that goddamn robot up there and what I said to all them people that made them? Yeah.
My people are easily entertained.
Well, that just makes you king of the morons, doesn't it?
Well, question. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but how badly do you really want this? Like, as you say, if we wanted to get out of here without your permission, wouldn't work. We'd be fucked, wouldn't we? Yeah, of course we would. But are you also willing to die for it? I'm just curious. I just want to know where you stand, know where we stand, you know.
Well, I myself would not, but the people that need it will if they don't get it.
What?
Now we have a conundrum. See, we're people that need it. You, and she gestures widely around, don't really seem to need it as much as want it. So what's the full deal?
Do you don't even know what's in it, do you?
Oh, no. Please don't tell me this is gonna be some moral conundrum here where we're transporting medicine and sick people need it, so we should give up our commission. Please, come on.
I think that's exactly what he's saying, Mox.
God damn.
Come on, Riddle Man, speak up. Tired of running around circles.
Did you read the display? Do you know what it is? Did you look at it?
I casually glanced, though I will admit I prefer not to take huge stake in my transports. Kind of complicates things for me, as you can fucking see.
Yeah, I understand. I used to do the work. I understand. Well, and he taps on the table. A little control pad lights up, and a hollow screen rim around the table lights up, and you see a hollow vid pop up over the food. and you see like a display of the thermos, the device you are carrying. You see it start to spin, and you see it like not wireframe, but it starts to come apart in pieces, like it is unassembling itself. The top comes off, and then the seal comes off, and a seam splits along the side, and the cylindrical sides of it part, and some of the other mechanisms kind of fall away, and they're all just hovering there in this hollow display, and it's like expanding. And what you see inside of it is a simple glass vial and some sort of gelatinous liquid inside of that vial. And it clears his throat. Any of you studied over your years of experience anything about genetics?
Can't say I have, but
Well,
All I know is it complicates things.
in simplest terms, points at it, that genetic material has two uses. It can be injected into a specific individual for an ailment that they are suffering, or it can be modified and multiplied to repair years of radioactive damage.
That explains the high dollar and the secrecy, really. I would have loved one of those little readout fucking things. That's helpful. Cheap bastards putting these on the boards. Okay. Well, that's all nice and fine and well and dandy. But if that's what's really in there, then, and she's just going to shake it ever so slightly, the person who commissioned this clearly needs it. So what am I to do? What is my team to do about this? Because if more people need it, we either need to find a way to multiply it and get things from A to B where they need to be, or I have to deliver it to who initially put the order in. That's my job.
Well, you're right. But most of us that are out here got here by not doing our jobs. So we could just resolve this right now. You can give it to me, and I could let you go on your way.
You gonna pay me for it? Because we're here for a paycheck. We're not doing this out of the kindness of our hearts. We need the money. So
yeah,
what have you got?
unfortunately, not all of us have an underground grow house.
Yeah, we can't all live in the fucking Garden of Eden.
Yeah, I was just thinking that's pretty simple solution. How much you want to pay for it?
Well,
Or-
that.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no! If you have an idea, please go ahead.
Well, prefer payment, obviously, down to the dollar, or down to the the spirit we're owed, soul we're owed. Man, I fucking almost got it. Damn it. Down to the soul we're owed. But you could pay us half and give us all unmitigated clearance through your territories without harm. Make future jobs easier.
Could we have like a group huddle?
Yeah, I think we should probably have a group huddle. I was just throwing shit out there, you know. I kind of get a little nervous when when someone just whips out their power dick in front of me.
And as he waves his hand to and sits back, motion giving you freedom to have this group huddle, let's draw the episode to a close, and we will pick up there next time.
Goodbye, cheese.
You can keep eating the cheese. So thank you everybody in the chat for keeping it hopping with us. Thank you for dealing with any kind of technical difficulties that we had tonight. Thank you future audiences on the YouTubes and the podcasts. Don't forget to come back next Tuesday. That is the 29th of August, right here, same cyber time, same cyber station for Chaos Incorporated. It is time for So Long, so let's hear from our lovely cast of who they are, where they are on the internets, and what they might be doing. Mallo.
All right, you can find everything else that we're doing with Identico and with myself. You can find me everywhere at the Mallo Man. I constantly tweet about TTRPGs and the good word of Identico everywhere. Yeah, so come see me. I'm literally at the Mallo Man everywhere.
Wild.
Yes, hello. I am the Wildling011 on just about any platform. The Mallo Man actually got me an invite to the Bluest of Skies, so now I am over there as well. If you ever get interested about what I do at my day job, you can always check out Alloy Arts LLC over on Insta and watch me polish some big bronzes. Other than that, go follow the Mallo Man and Identico. So we have multiple things going on, and it's awesome.
And Pete.
Hey, so big news. I just unified my username on all the platforms. It is at the Mallo Man. You can follow me there, and you can find out everything about wrestling, Identico, TTRPGs, everything right there at the Mallo Man.
Swear to God, we are going to have to do that podcast, Pete, just for you to have something to pitch at the end of this. Because if you go to his socials at Gator Pete, you'll find his hot takes on hot dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
Is that
Hold
where
on,
you also find the merchandise, the shirt, Dog 316? Because
that's
Alligator
getting
Pete.
sketched.
That's getting
There's so many merch ideas coming out of this. So maybe later, maybe in the future. But
I'm partial to Windy Bagel. If we want to get a Windy Bagel shirt, I will wear the hell out of that shirt.
The art, just the bagel flying in the wind.
Yeah. But speaking of Windy Bagels, Lauren, where are you on the internet?
I'm a Wendy Bagel. So I'm on the internet in all locations as Thousand Faces Cosplay and 95% Lauren. So if you like modeling, if you like shenaniganry, if you like double cheeked up on a Tuesday, follow 95% Lauren. If you like cosplay and rants, follow Thousand Faces Cosplay. We are going to be raising money for animals at a local convention in Colorado Springs this weekend. So if you have the chance, come on by to Colorado Springs Comic Con and grab a print, help the animals. And otherwise, send me your favorite foods because I'm hungry.
I think we all need a little bit of a snack. So Ethan, wrap it up for us.
I'll do my best. Yes, I am the other half of Thousand Faces Cosplay. Anywhere online, you can also, through the links on our Instagram or TikTok, find the link to the Twitch where I DM on most Saturdays, but since we have a convention this coming Saturday, it'll be a week from Saturday, our Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign, where I am DM. Lauren plays a stoner turtle named Bodhi, and they are just now getting into the Fey realm, so please join for that if you want a very different tone game.
And I am on all of the socials at the Caleb G. You can also find me right here for Chaos Incorporated. You can hear me here and there with Farm to Fable, and I take up a lot of space in the old archives of the RPG Academy. As Mallo said at the top of the show, AcadeCon 2023 is kicking off in Dayton the November 3rd through the 5th. The Kickstarter is right now at 104% funded, which is fantastic. Not our fastest funding ever, but it's only because our goals keep raising because capitalism. The campaign is going to be running for another month, and you can always get your best price badge through the campaign. So as weird as it is to buy a convention badge in, what month is it? August? For a con happening in November, do it because it's cheaper. And giving us more money up front means we can do cooler things. We can plan for cooler things. We've already added an extra night of karaoke. We're going to have a used game swap meet. We've got a junior academy this year with special events for our next generation of gamers. So some upfront money helps us cover those costs with the convention center and all that jazz. We will be selling badges later on at tabletop.events, which will release closer to the con, and we'll sell them at the gate as well in November. So please come out, hang out with me and Mallo, hang out with everyone from the RPG Academy and other podcasts. It's gonna be fun. And that is it for today. See you next week right here. Good night. We love you. Take care of yourself. Stay hydrated. Eat some food. Take your meds. Eat a snack. Drink your water. Go outside. Do something nice for yourself. Do a push-up.
And most importantly, stay weird.
Read a book, stay weird, be
Yeah.
awesome.
Bye, everybody. Love you. Good night.
Mwah! Good night, y'all.
Bang bang.
Good night.
Bye bye.